In this video, we will simplify radicals with variables, exponents, fractions, and other roots. We have here square root of x raised to 5. We are aware na ang index nito ay 2. Sometimes, hindi na siya sinusulat, pero most of the time, alam natin dapat na 2 ang index kapag square root ang pinag-uusapan natin. In this example, I'll show you two methods to solve this problem. Now, let me write here square root of x to the fifth, no? Ang gagawin natin dyan, paghihiwalay-hiwalayin natin yung mga x, okay? So, ilang x dapat ang susulat natin sa loob dito ng bahay, okay? So, meron tayong 5 x. We have x times x times x times x times x, okay? So, 5 x yan. Now, since naka-square root tayo, yung index natin na 2, no? Magbibilang lang tayo ng 2x at a time. Okay? So, ito yung first x natin, second x. So, meron tayong dalawang x. Okay? Same din dito. Meron tayong x din na dalawa. And as you can see, meron dyang matitirang isang x. Okay? So, yung dalawang x na yan, ilalabas natin yan, no? Okay, ilalabas ko lang pala dyan yung isang x. Isang x. Ito yung tinatawag na root, no? Root. Pero, tatawagin natin yung bahay, no? So, ilalabas natin yung isang x sa loob ng bahay, pati yung isang x dito sa loob ng bahay. Okay? So, ngayon, pag nilabas natin yan, meron tayong x, tapos isa pang x dito. Then, square root of, so, ilang x ang matitira sa loob ng bahay? So, meron na lang tayong isang x. Okay? Hindi siya lumabas dahil hindi naman siya dalawa. Ngayon, kapag sinimplify pa natin yan, no? Pinagsama natin yung dalawang x na lumabas ng bahay, ng x times x, that is x squared. Then we have square root of x. Okay? So, once again, we can write 2 here in our index and pwede naman natin hindi na isulat. Okay? Since square root naman yan. Now, if wala nang pwedeng simplify, this will be the final solution. Okay? So, that is my first method. In the second method na ituturo ko sa inyo, medyo mabilis siya, no? Same problem pa rin tayo. Try natin. Okay. So, ganito lang ang gagawin natin dyan, no? Let's break down the x to the fifth power. Ngayon, paghihiwalayin ko si x to the fifth, no? How many times is 2 going to 5, no? Or, sa ganitong paraan, we can divide 5 divided by 2. And alamin natin kung may remainder pa o wala. 5 divided by 2 is 2, remainder 1. Tama, no? So, ibig sabihin may isang x na may iwan dito. Yan yung remainder na 1. And then, yung x dito, magiging x squared. Kasi nga, 5 divided by 2 is 2. Ito yung 2. Remainder na 1, ito yung 1. Okay? So, nilabas ko si 2 na exponent sa labas ng bahay. Okay? At ang naiwan na exponent dun sa loob ng bahay, yun yung remainder na tinatawag. Okay? So, we can just simply divide the exponent, no, dun sa index. 5 divided by 2 is 2, remainder 1. And this is the final answer. Okay? So, you can apply these two methods and you can choose one of the two methods that we have here. Okay? So, now, let's have another example. What about this one? Square root of x raised to 7. Okay, we have square root of x to the 7th power. Now, let's try to apply the method 2. We have x raised to 7. 7, the exponent, divided by sa index na 2. 7 divided by 2 is x raised to 3, okay, with remainder 1, okay, x raised to 1. So, ganun lang siya, no? 7 divided, the exponent divided by the index. So, 7 divided by 2 is 3. At may matitirang isa na 1 sa loob ng bahay. Okay? So, this is the final answer. Okay? Now, let's have another example. Okay? For this example, we have square root of x raised to 8, y to the 9th power, z to the 12th. Okay? Let's simplify this expression. So, ganun pa rin ang gagawin natin. No? Let's apply method number 2. We have x raised to 8 divided by the index. 8 divided by the index. 2. We have x raised to 4. Okay? So, dito sa loob ng bahay, walang matitirang x. Kasi, x divided by 2 is 4 without remainder. Okay? So, 9 divided by, we have y. 9 divided by 2, yes, that is 4. With remainder 1. Okay, so y raised to 1. So, may matitirang isa sa loob ng bahay. What about z? No? Z raised to 12 divided by 2. Okay, so 12 divided by 2, that is 6 with no remainder. Okay, so as you can see here, ang may remainder lang dito yung y. At yung 4 and 6, wala silang remainder. No? 8 divided by 2 is 4 with no remainder, as well as 12 divided by 2, 6 with no remainder. Kaya, ang natira lang sa loob ng bahay, yung y raised to 1. Okay, and this is our final solution. What about this example? Square root of 30. Ang gagawin natin dyan, maghahanap tayo ng dalawang number na ang isa ay perfect square. Okay, let's break it down. No? So, we can use square root of 16 times square root of 2. Okay, 16 times 2 is 32. Okay, so ngayon, since 16 is a perfect number, okay, perfect square number, no? If we simplify square root of 16, that is 4. Okay, and then we have square root of 2. 2 is not a perfect square number, so ang mangyayari sa 2 ay na hindi siya makakalabas ng bahay. Okay, nasa loob lang siya ng bahay. So, that is the fourth example. What about the next example? Okay, so ganito lang yan, no? Before we move on dun sa number, let's try to simplify first the variables with exponents. Okay? So, try natin si x cube. X cube, i-divide natin sa 2, si cube, no? So, meron tayong x raised to 1, because 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1. Okay? So, we have x raised to 1. Okay, so that is the first process. Now, let's move on to the y. We have y here. 18 divided by 2. So, 18 divided by 2, that is 9. Okay? 9 with no remainder. Okay? Or no remaining number. Now, let's move on to 50. Now, so paano natin gagawin yung 50? Let's write down here the square root of 50. No? Just like the previous example, no? Let's break it down, this number. 1 is the perfect square number, 1 is not. Okay, what are those? We have square root of 25 times square root of 2. Yes, that's true when we multiply 25 times 2. Now, 25 times 2 is 50. Okay, so now square root of 25, we all know that 25 is a perfect square number, then square root of 25 is 5. So how about square root of 2? We have square root of 2. No, since 2 is not a perfect square number, so mag-remain lang siya sa loob ng root natin. And that is the final solution for this given number. Now, yung 5 na yan, since nasa labas siya ng bahay, ilalagay natin yan sa labas ng bahay dito. Okay? At yung 2 na nasa loob ng bahay, ilalagay natin yan sa loob ng bahay. Magkasama sila ni x raised to 1. Okay? And this will be our final solution for this expression. Okay, so now, let's try another one. Okay, so we can apply same process just like before in our previous example. So when we divide 5 on x raised to 5, 5 divided by 3, so we have x raised to 1, okay, x raised to 1, and the remaining number is x raised to 2. Okay, what about the variable y? No? We have y raised to 9. Okay, 9 divided by 3. Okay, may nakalimutan ako dyan. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, with no remainder. And z, 14 divided by 3, 8, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so we have 4. At ang remaining number natin dyan, okay, ay 2. Z raised to 4, the remaining number natin ay z raised to. Okay, so I believe this is the final solution for this expression. Now let's move on. Okay, so in this example, uh, bago tayo mag-proceed dito sa number, no, asikasuhin muna natin yung mga variables natin na may exponent. Okay, so x raised to 14 divided by the cube root. So meron tayo ditong cube root, no, bahay, no. So yung bahay natin ay nasa cube root na. 14 divided by 3, 14 divided by 3 is x raised to 4. X raised to 4. Okay. With remainder x raised to 2. Okay. So 14 divided by 3 is x raised to 4. Diba? 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. Okay. Now let's proceed to the y variable. Y raised to 15. 15 divided by 3. Okay, 15 divided by 3 is y raised to 5 with no remainder. Okay, so totally si y, inilabas siya ng bahay. What about z? No? 20 divided by 3. Okay, 20 divided by 3 is z raised to 6. Okay, because 6 times 3, 6 times 3, 6 times 3 is 18, right? So 18. So 20, no? 20 minus 18, that is 2, no? So may remainder tayo na z raised to 2. Okay, so now let's move on to the number, no? Cube root of 16. What about cube root of 16? So anong gagawin natin dyan? Parang ginawa natin kanina sa mga previous example natin. Ngayon, hindi naman perfect square number yung hanapin natin. Ang hanapin natin dito is perfect cube number. Okay? Since nga, ang index natin dito ay cube. No? Ano kaya yung dalawang number na yun na may perfect cube? Pag finactor natin tong cube root of 16. No? We can write, cube root of 8 times cube root of 2. So, paano nangyayari yun, no? So, paano nangyayari cube root of 8 and cube root of 2? Ito yung mga example na 1 cube is 1. Okay? So, 2 cube is 8. 3 cube is 27, no? 27 lumagpas na siya sa 16. So hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ito, no? Ang pinakamalapit lang kay 16 at hindi siya lumagpas ay si 8, okay? So 8 yung perfect cube na pwede natin gamitin para sa example na to, no? Cube root of 8, no? That is 2, huh? Cube root of 8 is 2 times cube root of 2, huh? Since hindi yan perfect cube number, mag-i-stay lang siya sa loob ng bahay, no? So therefore in this particular part of our example, no, 2 cube root of 2 is our answer. No, hindi pa tapos yan, no. Lalagay natin yung 2. Ayan, yung 2 dito sa labas ng bahay. So meron tayong 2. Ayan. At yung 2 sa loob ng bahay ng cube, ilalagay natin yan sa loob ng bahay ng cube. Okay? Ayan. And this will be our final answer. Okay, how to simplify this expression? No? So our index here is 2, and we have the given here, the given rational expression. Now first, let's break it down. This two number, no? This two number, the 75 and 8. Let's get a factor with one perfect square. No, simplify muna natin nasa loob ng bahay bago natin ayusin yung process natin, no? 25, no? 25 times 3, that is 75, and 25 is a perfect square number. Yan. And then, meron naman tayong 8 dito. Ano yung dalawang number na may perfect square? Number that is 4 times 2. Okay? 4 times 2 is 8. 25 times 3 is 75. Now, i-apply muna natin yung laws of exponent dito, no? So, when we are dividing two variables with exponent, we can just subtract the two exponents. Okay? As you can see, mas malaki yung exponent sa taas ng tulay. So, dito natin ilalagay yan. No? 7 minus 3, ilalagay natin yan sa taas ng tulay. So, sa x raised to 4. Okay, dito naman sa y, variable natin, mas malaki yung variable sa ilalim ng tulay. No? When we subtract 9 minus 3, paligtarin natin ang process. No? Siyempre, ang magiging sagot is 6. Since binaliktad natin ang process, ilalagay natin din yan sa ilalim naman ng tulay. Okay? Or, you can just simply subtract 3 minus 9. You get 6, negative 6. Okay? Lahat ng mga negative na exponent or na power, nilalagay natin yan sa ilalim ng tulay. Okay? So now let's have z, no? Z raised to 10 over z raised to 4. 10 minus 4, that is 6. And z raised to 10 is greater than z raised to 4, tulay. Z raised to 6. Okay? So now we can simplify this expression. No? 25, square root of 25, we all know that square root of 25 is 5. Okay? So, variable naman, x raised to 4, mamaya natin pakialaman ng 3, no? X raised to 4 divided by 2, that is x squared. X raised to 6 divided by 2, that is x cubed. So, that is z. That is z. Ayan. Z po yan, no? Z. No? That is 3. Okay? Then, ang natira sa loob ng bahay ay yung 3 dahil hindi naman perfect square number yan. No, meron tayong square root of 3 dyan. Okay? So, nasa loob ka lang, hindi ka pwede lumabas. Now, what about square root of 4? That is 2. No? Mamaya natin pakilaman yung 2 dyan, nakatabi ng 4. Ayusin muna natin yung y raised to 6. No? Y raised to 6 divided by 2, 6 divided by 2, that is y raised to 3. And ang matitira sa loob ng bahay ay yung 2 na lang. Okay? So, yun ang natitira sa loob ng bahay. Now, if we simplify this one, rationalize the root sa ilalim ng fraction. Okay, kasi bawal daw, no, may kasabihan daw na bawal ang bahay sa ilalim ng tulay. Pinapaalis po 'yon, no? Para mapaalis natin ang mga bahay sa ilalim ng tulay, i-multiply natin yan sa square root of 2, yung numerator at yung denominator. No? We have 5x raised to 2 z to the third power, no? Square root of 3 times square root of 2, no? Pagsasamahin natin yung dalawang number sa loob ng bahay, pag pinag-multiply natin yan, 3 times 2, that is 6. Okay? So, ganun lang yan. Minumultiply lang po yun, no? And we have 2y to the third power, no? Square root of 2 times square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4. Okay? Square root of 4. 4 is a perfect number. Square number, that is 2, no? So, we have 2. So, meron tayong 2 dito. No? Or, pwede naman siguro natin pagsamahin yung 2 at yung 2 na number dito, no? So, we can just simply replace na lang siguro, no? I think this is 4. No? 2 times 2 is 4. So, pwede natin palitan ng 4 yan. At si 2, siguro tanggalin na lang natin yung si 2. Okay, so then our final answer is 5x cubed, x squared times z to the third power square root of 6 over 4y to the third power. As you can see, wala na yung bahay sa ilalim ng tulay. Okay? In our final given, so we have cube root of 16x to the 7th power, y to the 4th power, z to the 9th power, over 54, x to the 2nd power, y raised to 9, z raised to 15. I suggest that we can divide the two numbers 16 and 54 to 2 because divisible naman yan sa 2. Okay? So when we divide 16 sa 2, meron tayong 8. Okay? 54 divided by 2, we have 27. Okay? Then, i-apply natin yung kaninang ginawa natin sa previous example, x raised to 7 divided by x raised to 2. When we divide the variable with exponent, no? We just simply subtract the two exponents. Okay? 7 minus 2, that is x raised to 5. Y raised to 4 over y raised to 9. So, since mas malaki yung exponent sa ilalim ng tulay o sa denominator, no? Gawin natin ng kabaliktaran, no? 9 minus 4 is 5, no? Since baliktad ng ginawa natin, so sa ilalim natin yan ilalagay, y raised to 5. Okay? Z raised to 9 over z raised to 15. Ganun din, baliktad din yung gagawin natin. 15 minus 9 is 6. So, ilalagay natin yan sa ilalim ng tulay dahil baliktad nga yung process na ginawa natin. Okay? So, hindi pa yan tapos, no? We have cube root of, simplify na po natin, no? So, we have cube root of 8, that is 2. Cube root of 8 is 2. Next, cube root of x raised to 5. We have x raised to 1. Meron tayong remainder na x raised to 2. Next, what about cube root of 27? That is 3. Cube root of y to the 5th power, that is y raised to 1. Okay, 5 divided by 3 is 1. At remainder, 2. So, meron tayong cube root of y raised to 2. Next, z raised to 6 or cube root of z raised to 6, that is z raised to 2. Okay? So, hindi pa final answer. So, kailangan muna natin i-rationalize yung denominator natin. To rationalize the denominator, so we multiply both numerator and denominator to y raised to 1. Okay? So, over cube root of y raised to 1. Then we simplify 2x raised to 1 cube root of, so sulat natin dito para hindi tayo malito, times cube root of y raised to 1, no? So, multiply lang natin yung mga numbers sa loob ng bahay, no? X squared times y that is x squared y, no? So, meron tayong x squared times y or x squared y sa loob ng bahay. Now, sa ilalim naman ng tulay, sa denominator, we have 3y raised to 1. Okay? So, 3y raised to 1 or 3y na lang. Z squared, no? Dito naman, meron tayong cube root of y squared times cube root of y raised to 1. No? When we have the same base, we just add the exponent and copy the base. No? 2 plus 1 is 3. Cube root of y cube. No? Y cube, 3 divided by 3, that is 1. So, y raised to 1 ang sagot. So, meron tayo ditong y raised to 1. No? Not final answer pa. So, kailangan pa natin i-simplify. No? Pag samasamahin natin ng mga magkakamukha, no? I-multiply natin pag magkatabi sila. 2x cube root of x squared times y. So, wala naman dapat asikasuhin dyan. Doon tayo sa denominator. No? We have 3. Since meron tayong dalawang y dyan, so y times y, that is y to the second power and z to the second power. And this will be our final solution in this particular example. Okay? So I hope you learned something in this video. And thank you and God bless.